What's up, everybody? What's up, MGTOW? So today I want to talk about two kind of tangential topics, that of colorism and miscegenation or miscegenation propaganda in the media. But first, I have to make some money here. You guys need to take a shit, right? So why not buy toilet paper from my sponsor, A1 Brand Toilet Paper Company? They're not the best toilet paper company, but hey, they're willing to sponsor this show, and I need money. Wait, hold on. The Ben Shapiro style isn't as good as the Alex Jones style. Alex Jones is actually the king of the advertisement segue. They're killing people at the concerts. They're killing people at the schools. How many more kids have to die before you buy my military-grade bulletproof backpack insert? Check it out at Infowars.com. Nah, but seriously, the whole colorism issue is kind of funny to me because now with genetic testing and stuff, you can kind of see where the genetics go with people. And there's some interesting facts, at least from the genetic testing, that show that colorism is pretty much a ridiculous idea. Now, I'm going to link below a set of people's genetic results from different black people in the United States. And basically, it's showing that you can't tell how much of a mixture or admixture somebody is by their skin tone. Because there's some people that have a higher percentage of European DNA, and they're actually darker than people with a lower percentage of European DNA. So just by looking at somebody's skin tone is not indicative of what percentage of European versus African DNA they have. So you can check that link out below. But there's also just some other interesting facts. Like, for instance, 1/3 of all black males have a white grandfather. So that means 1 out of every 3 black people or black men has a white grandfather. That's a lot of people. You know, if you line up 3 people, at least one of those people is going to have a white grandfather. So this whole idea of the white man is the devil and all that stuff, it's like that's probably one of your family members. This last fact is taken from Exactly How Black is America, written by Henry Louis Gates Jr. And he's saying that the average black person is about 20 to 25% European DNA. And also, the average black person is 3% or less Native American DNA. So that dispels a lot of myths because a lot of black people claim that they're mixed with Native American, but it's not true really. And it seems like most other races are mixed with European because they've been dominant class or whatever you want to call it for so long in the United States. And so this kind of brings us to the whole idea of miscegenation, because as we know now with genetic testing and looking at history, most of the miscegenation that's been going on in the United States has been white male on other female, either Native American or black or whatever other race. It's mostly been white men on those females. And this might also explain why, a lot of white guys don't find dark-skinned black women attractive, is because your grandfathers had sex with all the attractive or the phenotypes that white men would find attractive of the African DNA. And then they became mixed race people. So that's why there's that separation. And also, people always joke about how black guys will fuck anything. But if you really think about it, if white men had first dibs on all the attractive women in the United States, in order for black people to survive, the black guys that would fuck anything would be the ones that would reproduce and survive. So the black guys that were super picky, they're like, I don't really like that dark skin, or I don't like they wouldn't have kids. So genetically or epigenetically, black men have completely evolved to, basically have to pick up the slack from what white men were getting first dibs on. And we can even see this evidenced by the fact that the first legal interracial marriage in the United States was a white male and a black female, Richard and Mildred Loving. And that case, the Loving versus Virginia case, was what legalized interracial marriage, or what you call miscegenation. So, realistically, if any community should be worried about miscegenation, it should be the black community and not the white community. Because on top of all this, white women are the least likely cohort to marry outside of their race. So, I mean, not saying that it's not a talking point, that it shouldn't be a talking point for the alt-right, but I think it might be blown a little bit out of proportion because it's really not happening that much percentage-wise, and the majority of successful relationships are white male on black female or white male on Asian female. So the fact that white men are so concerned about black men taking their women, the evidence points more that black men should be worried about white men taking their women if you're concerned about that type of stuff. So now when you're looking at miscegenation propaganda in the media, you kind of have to do a propaganda analysis, because I think that there are kind of 2 or 3 types of imagery that includes interracial people. Like, first, there is actual miscegenation propaganda, which is like in films and TV shows where the artist or the writer or whatever is actually trying to promote interracial marriages, dating, whatever. And then the second one is people trying to demote interracial marriages and relationships and stuff like that. And then the third category that I would say is just target marketing. And I think a lot, especially in advertisements and commercials, you really have to look at the target marketing. Because if you look at it market-wise, white men and black women are one of the 2 highest spending categories in the United States, because white men spend a lot of money on white women and black women spend a lot of money on themselves. So a lot of times I've noticed, I don't really watch TV too much anymore, but from the commercials that I have seen, it is usually a white male with a black female or a white male with a Latino or Asian female. So I think that in the advertising sense, some of that could be chalked up to that they're trying to target people who spend the most. And, if you're showing a commercial with a couple and it just happens that black women spend the most and white men spend the most, so that's just how it is. But then when you're looking at the other 2 categories, the promotion and demotion of interracial relationships, you kind of have to look at the moral of the story, because it could be a movie or a video or whatever with an interracial couple, but the outcome could be negative for them. And in that sense, they're demoting it because, they want you to identify with one of the characters, and then after you identify with the character, then they push a moral on you. That's how propaganda in movies work. So, for instance, if you're a white man and then they show a movie with a white man and a black woman, and then something negative happens to their relationship at the end, I would say that that's demoting interracial. Or if it's a black man with a white woman and they have a positive outcome, then I would say that that's promoting miscegenation. So you do have to kind of it's not just the fact that they're showing an interracial couple. You have to look at what their goal is, what the moral is, what they're trying to convince you of within the story. And then also, we just have to look at the limits of propaganda influence, because propaganda works best on a targeted audience. Like, for instance, I used to watch CSI a lot, and it was just very interesting that they would show CSI and then the commercials would be for selling very high powered carpet cleaners that clean up blood and stains and all types of stuff like that. I mean, maybe they're targeting killers, who knows? I don't know. But there are limits to it as well. So, for instance, I mean, I don't care how much gay porn you show me or gay guys kissing on TV. I'm not gay, so I'm not going to kiss a man. I'm not going to have sex with a man, no matter how much you show me. But if you, at the same time, if you show me, black guys making music and getting money, and then I'm like, well, I could see myself doing that, then that's propaganda to me. That would work on me. So it's like you have to look at how effective it would be. For instance, or another example could be, if you're showing people playing basketball and then you've got a guy that's not very tall, he's going to realize that he can't play basketball and he's not going to get rich doing that. So that's not going to work on him. Whereas a tall guy, a really tall guy, might watch that and then think, oh, well, I can make money playing basketball, even though it's more complicated than that. So yeah, that's all I really want to talk about on this. I don't really prescribe a moral or ethical value to interracial relationships, and I think that naturally most people just end up with somebody of their own race for cultural and social reasons and economic reasons, all that type of stuff. So it's not really as big of a deal as some people make it out to be. And then also you have to look at what the artist or whoever's producing the propaganda, what their goal is within the propaganda. You can't just say, oh, well, they're showing a white person and a black person on the screen, so that means that they're promoting miscegenation, because it's a little bit more nuanced than that. So that's all I got for this one. Have a good day and go MGTOW.